All right. So, let's go ahead and talk about it. The Masters of the Universe. There you
Yeah.
go. Let's talk about it. The Masters of the Universe. Revelation. 5 episodes released on Netflix. It was written by Kevin Smith. We've talked about all the awesome voice actors in previous shows, most notably, to me at least, Mark Hamill as Skeletor, which is
Definitely.
awesome, by the way. Um, Kevin Smith is getting some flack. Uh, so, spoiler alert, by the way. So let's make sure we get our spoiler alerts out there.
Major.
So let's talk about the controversy first. Then we'll actually talk about whether it's a good series or not. So the controversy here is that people that are complaining about it, I'll say that. I want to say people in general, but the people that are complaining are basically saying that Kevin Smith lied to them because the marketing is all He-Man, 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 He-Man. And so in this first episode,
First fucking episode.
Prince Adam, He-Man, sacrifices himself. Him and Skeletor both pretty much die. Well, we'll just go with that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I feel
turns
where
out
you were going with
Skeletor
that.
didn't die, okay? Skeletor didn't
Right.
die, but Prince Adam dies. He goes to whatever their heaven is.
Yeah.
And so, like, the main character is Man at Arms. No, actually, it's Tila. Should be Man of Arms, but it's Tila.
Right.
Because Man of Arms is unfucking stoppable. I'm serious.
Beast. Straight beast. He was
Unfucking
one of the
stoppable.
one of the main. If you're gonna watch that show, for me, he is one of the main reasons to watch it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's definitely not because of the story.
yeah. And he gets
Personal
wronged.
opinion only.
No, I'm telling you, because he gets dicked, right? Like he's the Man at Arms, and so this whole thing starts out with Teela's going to be the new Man at Arms, but then they find out that He-Man died. Well, Teela doesn't know that He-Man and Prince Adam are the same person, nor does the King. Man at
No, that's the
Arms and the
thing.
Queen know, but those two don't. And once they find out, because the King's like, "Oh, He-Man died. Oh, that's too bad." And then yeah, his wife's like crying her eyes out, and they're like, "Yeah, He-Man is your son, Prince Adam." So he
Right.
flips his shit because the Man at Arms knows this. So he like dissolves him of his power and exiles the Man at Arms. So he goes off. Teela's all pissed off because people didn't tell her. So she goes off, and there we have it. That's where the series basically picks up. Teela's kind of like a mercenary type person
Yeah.
and meets up with Evil Lynn. And so what had happened is when He-Man died, it's because they find out that Castle Grayskull is like just an illusion. Like there's this other, I don't know, glacier looking castle under its veneer. And in the
Yeah.
basement is basically this orb that has all the knowledge and supplies all the magic to Eternia. Well, like I said in the first episode, Skeletor does infiltrates Castle Grayskull, gets down there, tricks He-Man into unlocking this orb, and then he touches this orb with his Skeletor staff, and in order to absorb the blast, like they'd like stop time or some shit, but
Yeah.
basically they had to conclude that He-Man's sword of power is the only thing that's going to be able to absorb the blast, and so they do that. It splits into two because I guess the sword of power is actually two blades, and him and Skeletor, poof, gone. The swords are gone, and Teela has to now go into this journey of retrieving the swords. However, one is in hell, basically, Subternia, and the other
Yep.
one is in heaven. So they go to Subternia. So there's a controversy because this is basically a Teela-centric story, not a He-Man. Now, again, we mentioned he died in the first episode.
Hmm.
He comes back and dies again.
Oh my fucking god!
As he's like, oh, they've reforged the sword because, of course, we talk about Man of Arms being a beast. He creates a fucking robot that basically can't be stopped. It could reforge the sword of power. Like, yeah, Man at Arms is just the shit, and he's
Right.
MVP of this whole series. If you see him
Yeah,
on
definitely.
screen, he's annihilating people. Seriously.
Right.
um, but yeah, so they go through this whole journey. They reforge the Sword of Power, and as Prince Adam, who came back from the dead, however that works.
I was gonna say, which it never. That's in my notes. It was never explained how he just walked out of heaven with these people and just was like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, oh, we're trapped in heaven. Hey, I think I can get us out. Oh, look, I can get us out. All right, well, hey, peace out, all the other He-Mans. Like, you see Grayskull,
right.
like the Castle Grayskull. I think maybe some people are mad because they're racist because it turns out, like, the original champion, Grayskull, basically looks like J100, but really, really buff. So, I don't know, maybe people are being racist there. But anyway, he was the first, like, He-Man. And I guess they could all go back whenever they want, but they get to this heaven and they're like, nah, I'm good.
Right. This is
But,
paradise. Why would I leave? That's what they
right.
kept saying.
And they're all in their buff forms, but I don't know. Prince Adam chose to be in his scrawny form. But then, yeah, it's just like, okay, well, great. They can get out of heaven. I think I'm going to peace out too. And he does.
And he really just walks out. No resurrection
Right.
jutsu, nothing. He just
Nothing.
walks the fuck out.
Yeah. And then they reforge. He's got the sword. He's about to, I'm the power. Like they restore everything. You know, they are able to restore the mana back. And then he's got the sword. I'm the power. And yeah, gets fucking stabbed by Skeletor before he even transforms.
Yep. As he's saying the quote, he got shanked.
Yep. And that all happened because Evil Lynn, who teams up with Tila, so we've kind of got an frenemies. She's got this magic orb that she basically carries around. You know, it's her weapon. And he, like, hid himself inside there for this time. And, yeah, he grabs the Sword of Power.
Skeletor pulled an Orochimaru.
Yeah, exactly. He really did.
He kept a part of himself there and came out when he was needed to.
Right.
He was just hiding in there, just observing everything that was going on. Yeah, he pulled an Orochimaru.
Yep. Actually, a little bit of Itachi too. But anyway,
yeah.
So Skeletor takes the Sword of Power, and he's got it. He is the master of the universe. He changes in his wicked-looking form, and that's how the fifth episode ends. Is with Skeletor, Mark Hamill, thinking, "I am master of the universe," and there you go. It's not a He-Man centric story, which to me, I'm good with that. I don't think Kevin Smith deserves all this hate. He didn't lie. Now, maybe he didn't spill the beans when it came to the promotion. I was watching an interview with him the other day where he's like, yeah, we don't even have this shit fully out of production yet. And someone's coming to me talking about, does Prince Adam die in the second episode? So, I mean, he just wasn't trying to give up, the spoilers. But I think it's a good thing.
No, he dies in the first one. You're wrong.
Yeah,
right.
He does. And then again in the fifth. So you're wrong. But I'm okay with not seeing He-Man run around. I mean, his nipples got about 4 feet in between them, and I get it. They don't want to rub up against his metal plate, so I don't get, I'm okay with not looking at that every show. So I don't know. Yeah, Kevin Smith's getting a lot of hate, and that's why people are calling it a bait and switch. But newsflash, just because the story isn't the written you expect it to be or want it to be written, doesn't mean it's a bait and switch. And just because somebody doesn't give up spoilers in their promotional shit doesn't mean it's a bait and switch.
He even did an interview recently too where he said this is a He-Man story, but not necessarily only about him. And there's plenty of movies. You know what? I'm gonna recall back to Iron Man 3. That's a Tony Stark centric movie, but he's not the main character in that fucking movie. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is. And it's okay to have stories about characters come from other people's point of view. And plus, this is only the 5 episodes. There's numerous parts. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe they're building up other characters. Because I actually was just Googling. This is actually not a new series. This is a sequel to the original where it's like this picks up right after the last episode. So he's diving in and building up this universe that, let's be honest, 80s cartoons really didn't do. So
Right.
they're, doing a new age storytelling, and I'm all for it, because if anybody knows his nerd shit that can do it, it's Kevin Smith, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So it's just, people are pissed that it's not He-Man. It's, the Masters of the Universe, which is everybody, the whole team. And
No, I feel that. That's kind of a slight Naruto vibe. Like, yeah, the show was called Naruto, but they literally covered every character in the show at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, look at Shupid, and there's whole fucking arcs where Naruto's over there meditating and training, and you don't even fucking see him unless he's going like this or talking to a
Right.
frog.
Right.
Or eating frog food like insects and shit.
I actually, because of Naruto, I keep meaning to, like, right before I go grocery shopping or something, like, look up how to make, like, the real ramen.
Yeah. So
I think
let's
you what.
talk about
Otani Noodles, Cleveland.
Right on.
Tawny.
Pork belly ramen.
I have to keep that in mind.
So let's talk about kind of, I guess, how we felt about the series itself. Now the controversies out of the way. It's not a He-Man centric storyline. Let's talk about the animation. Is great. It's great
Hell
animation.
Yeah. That
It's
was
done-
definitely on point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's done by the same team that did Castlevania. However, I will say Castlevania has better fights.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because in this series, as something gory is about to happen, they cut away. Like, they show that some dude's about to get a fucking axe or something right, in his
Gotta
dome.
be kid friendly.
But and
Right.
it is, and people got to consider that too. This isn't exactly for grown-ups.
Like, I was reading, it has very adult oriented scenes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still focused for children, like the original ones.
Yeah. I mean, you see blood, but they're sparingly with it.
I was gonna say, yeah, you never see the contact.
Right.
You just see, that cut scene, and then you see the splatter.
Yeah.
The aesthetic is absolutely very, very He-Man-ish. I mean, every little toy, vehicle, character,
Hell yeah.
they have worked into this. I mean, and we're not talking about like renditions inspired by the toys. We're talking the fucking toy's been animated for every vehicle, every person, and it's in this show. The voice acting is spectacular.
Yep, that was one of my notes.
Wonderful.
It definitely is.
So that's the good. The bad? Halo drama? What'd you think?
I really wasn't feeling the story either. Just almost in the same way that you're saying. Like, okay, I came here to watch these episodes to see He-Man. I was one of those people. And I'm not saying it's all around horrible, but that's what I came in assuming. And he died the first episode, and we didn't see him again until either the last or second to last episode, when again he just walked out of heaven because he could.
Right.
That's never fucking explained. So it's like, did Skeletor shake a zombie?
Yeah, I guess he did.
Right, that's what I'm saying. No resurrection jutsu or anything. He just walked out of heaven like, I'm going home. My friends are here.
Peace out, guys. It was fun.
Yeah, my friends came to pick.
They did tell him that if he does this, he can't come back again. I don't know what that means, but either way, he was still peace out.
I think I do remember that now. But either way, still, it's almost like the concept of like Goku getting sent to other world and keeping his body. He still couldn't go home whenever he felt like it.
Right.
But Prince Adam just was like, all right, can't come back. Fuck it, my friends are here to pick me up. I'm going home. My friends just came to pick me up from the mall. I called him
5 minutes later, he's skewered.
Right. I called him 1-800-COLLECT and just did that. Say your name after the tone. Hey, I'm ready to come pick me up, please.
Right. Remember that commercial? Baby, it's a boy. So,
I laughed. Let me see. I laughed when the new character Andra, the black chick,
mm-hmm.
she's got jokes.
Yeah.
She's the one. And for every kid show, there's some adult-based jokes, and she had those. And the one that I noted immediately, they were talking about something, and she was like, "Well, you know what they say? No glove, no love." And I was just like, "What you say, bitch?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you said, the voice acting was incredible. I completely agree with that. Um, I couldn't remember Cringer slash Battle Cat. Could they
Mhm.
talk? Could he talk in the old show?
You know, I had a hard time remembering that as well. But I think so. I don't think he talked as Battle Cat,
All right.
but I do think I remember Cringer talking.
Yeah, I meant to like maybe look up a YouTube video, maybe check out some old episodes and whatnot, but I never got around to it. But yeah, I just flat out couldn't remember. As soon as I heard him speak, first thing I was like, could he talk in the old show?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into that. Another one, Moss Man. They talked to him like they knew who he was, like they knew
Mhm.
what he was about, and everything like that. And then he died instantly in the first episode. So I had to Google him. He's supposedly one of the strongest beings in Eternia.
Mhm.
He's almost like Eternia's version of
Swamp
Swamp Thing.
Thing. Yeah.
Um, dies in the very first episode. Just Skeletor just walked up and fucking murdered him, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, he's dead. What the fuck is that? Um, but I also felt like it had like some of the normal cartoon tropes.
Yeah.
Talking way too much when you should be over there knocking the shit out of him. Um, stop telling motherfuckers what you're about to do and just go fucking do it. That is, oh, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's in pretty much every animated
Mhm.
anything, but that doesn't make it any less annoying
Right.
to me. To me. Um, da, da, da. And yeah, no, that for as far as my notes, that's what I covered, and agreeing with you that Man at Arms was the shit.
Yeah.
Like how I said, like how I felt Kano kind of saved the Mortal Kombat movie because his character was the shit. If anything saves the show, personal opinion only, Man at Arms.
Mhm.
Like you said, every scene he was in, he was the shit. Every scene he was in, he took that shit over.
Yep.
Like it,
Yep.
like the show was like the show should have been called Man at Arms.
Yeah.
He was the one doing the most shit.
Yep. Every time some major shit was going to go down, we're going to get fucked. Here comes Man at
Right,
Arms, just annihilates everybody.
right. From the beginning, then he got exiled, and there was an obvious time skip, but it's never explained exactly how long.
Right.
Long enough that Tila's already moved on to a new town, found a new partner, found a new job,
Yep.
and this dude's living over here, done grown his beard out, looking all scruggly and whatnot. Like, but it's never explained exactly how much time had passed. But
Nope.
even after that time passed, and they go to the town where he just happens to be still the shit.
Yeah.
Still just comes in mopping invaders and holding it and juggling a cup while he did it.
Right. Right. That
Juggling
cup
a
of
cup of
magic.
that holy water or whatever it was.
Yeah, that magic water. Yep. Yeah, and then at the end, was it? He's like on top of fucking Grayskull, and he's just got that fucking cannon, and it just
Yeah,
cuts through like 20 of the enemy's vehicles.
right.
Because besides for Skeletor, there's like this what's his name, Cycloptor. He's got the eye that rotates around his head. He's
Can't remember
like
his name.
he's taken over Snake Mountain now that Skeletor's gone, and they're on some like robotic cult
Well,
where you drink this water and like you become like half machine like they are.
and
So
that's what
he's
I.
like the
I'm
constant
sorry.
enemy outside of Skeletor.
Yeah, he kind of reminded me of a what do they call them? Evangelist.
Right. Yes, exactly.
And
Evangelist.
in a sense, his religion or whatever you want to call it, because that's how he looked at it. His robotics was his religion, and it was
Yeah.
the only right way. And if you disagreed with him, you either had to go or I was going to make you do this. And I was just like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But he got his ass whooped every time he jumped up, so that was
Yeah, he
whatever
did.
too.
Yes, he did.
That was whatever too. And
He got a
then what
lot
was
of
it?
people killed by Man-at-Arms.
He was approaching the castle, and when the castle transformed back into Grayskull, he was just like, "Nope, retreat."
Yep,
He was
everyone
just like,
retreat.
"Nope." He's like, "I'm not even going in there. Fuck that."
So
And then
there you have it.
but who knows where the direction will go. My thing is just if it continues, is what are you doing with Prince Adam? You're right. He died twice.
Twice.
So I just read online somebody compared that to Kenny from
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Park.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Said, he'll be back, but will he die again?
Oh, and not to mention, we can't necessarily say he died. He got shanked. He got dropped. Skeletor grabs a sword. I
Right,
have the
right.
power. He
You're right.
transformed. But then that's all we saw.
Yes.
We did technically never actually saw him die. We just saw him get stabbed and he fell.
Right, right.
He could be down
And
there right now. Someone
yeah.
help me. I need a sensu bean. You know.
As far as other character deaths, though, I guess I do before we move on, I do want to mention Orco Dies.
Yeah.
Orco's sick because of all the magic that's gone. He gets a little boost of power, and afterwards, like, I want to go with you guys, and I'm like, oh, this guy's dead. This
I
dude's
swear,
dead.
I said the same thing. I was like, he has to die now.
Yeah, because
You
he's
know it's
always
gonna happen.
because he's got all these like melancholy stories to tell, but yeah, he's still a joker. But yeah, I'm like, this dude is gonna die, and he does.
Right.
So
And he does.
spoilers there. All right. Well, so animation, voice acting, good. Kevin Smith doesn't deserve the hate, but it is by far not a masterpiece and not totally awesome. So I can't give it that hype. But I don't. Omega Level Nerd D Square here. I hope you enjoyed this little excerpt from our show, the Omega Level Nerds podcast. I really do appreciate you checking us out. If you like what you watched today, then please check us out. There is the link to the whole entire show, over an hour's worth of some nerdy goodness for you. So definitely hope you check it out. Well, thank you very much. As always, peace and love. We'll talk to you again soon.